Yo, what's going on with y'all, man? Sorry, this recap will be pretty short. Just want to go a little live a little bit, talk a little bit about Raw Recap. So, it was that was interesting. It was a decent Raw. I won't say there weren't any too many downs if there were at all. I think that tonight's good. I mean, from what we saw, everything that we saw was pretty good. So, with the recap of Night of Champions, and which we'll recap on the show Wednesday, we got some interesting announcements. Number one, that the match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley is official again for Evolution 2. Now, I don't know how many times we're going to keep doing this match, but Io Sky needs somebody else to wrestle other than Rhea Ripley because we've sat through this song and dance before, and sorry, we've sat through this song and dance before, and we're tired of seeing it, because we want to see other women wrestle. We're tired of seeing Rhea Ripley. I'm not tired of seeing Rhea Ripley wrestle. I'm tired of seeing Rhea Ripley wrestle Io Sky. I mean, there's nothing more. They keep saying, "Oh, Rhea Ripley's never beaten Io Sky." Okay. Well, she's not going to beat her at Evolution 2 because they're teased Asuka and Io, which I would like to see at SummerSlam. There's that. I mean, with the fact is that with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, get this match over with. I think both of them can move on to bigger and better things. I think with Rhea, I'd like to see Rhea do some work with some of the NXT girls. I think Rhea's star power is enough to catapult somebody from NXT, like a Lash Legend, like a Fallon Henley or something like that, or like work with Jada Parker. I think any of those women would be great. I'd like to see something between, down the line, a cross brand between Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss. I think that'd be something dope. I just want to see more of Rhea wrestling with like some of the mid-card talent, mid to upper level talent. B-Fab, Meechin, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green. I want to see like her wrestle with some of them down the line. Maybe have Rhea go after, because Rhea doesn't have to go after the Intercontinental Championship or the United States Championship, excuse me, but she could at least like sink her teeth into some different stuff that like you can give her something else to rock with. That's just my take on it. Aside from that, we had Judgment Day against the New Day, which was a really good match. I thought it was better. I thought it was pretty good, but I was like, yo, is Judgment Day, like, are they faces now? Because they were being cheered like crazy. And again, New Day doesn't have the championships. But so I don't know where we're going to go with this New Day story, but I'm interested to see what they do with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. I feel like they've been so reliable, and I believe that they're due for something new. I'd say a singles run for Woods would be great. Maybe Kofi goes after the Intercontinental Championship. I'd like to see that, or maybe Kofi Kingston going down to NXT and getting the North American Championship under his belt. It's just something fresh and something new for Kofi, and maybe Woods going to get a singles title run, possibly the Intercontinental Championship, or if he gets, because of the draft, if he gets moved over to SmackDown, maybe the United States Championship. But I'd like to see Xavier Woods get some singles title success under his belt. Right after that, minus the segments, we would cut to Rusev and Sheamus. And that was a really good match. I was excited to see Rusev wrestle Sheamus because they have such great chemistry together. And the way that they're seemingly building Rusev is he's going to be like an unstoppable force. And he ran into an immovable object, which was Sheamus. But at the same time, with Sheamus, the best story that they had going with Sheamus was how he had not won the Intercontinental Championship. And when I thought about it, when they brought it up, I'm like, damn, I thought Sheamus had won the Intercontinental Championship because he had so much success as United States champion, World Heavyweight champion, had a little bit of success as WWE champion. So I thought he had already previously had Intercontinental Championship success. But the funny thing is he hasn't. And I felt like that they should have pulled the trigger on that when it was there, but I understand why they didn't. And that's fine, but at the same time, we gotta look at it like, Sheamus is just putting on good matches, but I want to know what the end goal is. So somewhere down the line, I'd like to see an Intercontinental Championship match. If Dominic is really injured, let it be vacated. Let Sheamus compete for it, and I'd like to see maybe either against like Rusev or a returning Ilya Dragunov. I think that would be Ilya Dragunov versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship. That's a 4 to 5 star match. No Dave Meltzer, but I think that with doing that, there is got to be a level of balance on there, and I think because of that, we can sink our teeth into when Dragunov returns, a feud between him and Sheamus. It'll be physical. It'll be grueling. It'll be monumental. And I think because of that, we can really get involved in that. Hold on, let me share the live, retweet it, like it, retweet it, share it, get some opinions going. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Let's see what we got. All right, well, I shared it. You know what I'm saying? I shared it. If you want to talk to me, pull up real quick. I'm live. All right, anyway. Like I said, I guess I'm just here doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Stephanie's right there. Yes, Stephanie Bakir is she's winning the battle royal at Evolution. I think we got to just put that out there. I think Stephanie Bakir is winning the battle royal, not Stephanie Vakwe. Stephanie Bakir is winning the battle royal at Evolution 2. I think she's the perfect person to get a world championship match. Io versus Stephanie was so good the first time. I think we're going to get it again in Paris, which if that happens, I'm not saying Stephanie should win or would win. I don't, with Io's title reign, they keep bringing up Rhea. I don't want it centered around Rhea anymore. I want it focused on Io Sky just defending her championship, because eventually a big story is going to come up. Unless they're going to have, I think Asuka and Io can either happen at SummerSlam or cook it all the way to WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Have Io drop the title to Asuka, let Asuka get a dub at WrestleMania. That should be Asuka's dub, is at WrestleMania. It should not be anything less than that. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Getting back to Rusev and Sheamus, banger of a match. The Redeemer choked him out. For one point, Sheamus eventually got up, and Rusev used some hickory dickory trickery, exposed his chest into the turnbuckle, hit the Machika kick. It was over 1, 2, 3. Now, this is interesting because with Gunther and Seth Rollins, there's a bit of an aesthetic there that kind of has multiple layers to it. And with the involvement of CM Punk and LA Knight, I'm now seeing that if Gunther does win, he's getting cashed in on. If Gunther loses, Goldberg's getting cashed in on. I don't think that necessarily is going to be the wave. I don't think that necessarily is going to be the go-to. But with knowing how WWE books things, I'm sure that would really make the division look weak for Goldberg to win after Gunther just had a hard-fought match against Jey Uso, and then Jey Uso just choked out Gunther for the championship. It devalues the lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship that Seth Rollins had given it, that Damian Priest had given it, that Gunther had given it, and for the little bit of time that Jey Uso had given it. So, I mean, with that being said, and Drew McIntyre as well for 5 minutes. But what I do know is there's, and you know what I'm saying, hopefully Drew comes back after filming, and it's nice that Drew is getting into these two. We're talking about Gunther and Bill Goldberg, and you know, CM Punk comes out after Seth Rollins does. I don't know how this cash-in is gonna go, but I just feel like Seth Rollins probably should avoid Gunther and go after Cena. But then Cena's story ends. It could end if Rollins cashes in on Cena on his last match, and Rollins ends the year. Oh, yeah, that would be it. If Rollins ends Cena's last night in Boston, cashing in the Money in the Bank case, and walks out with the championship and blows a kiss at him and CM Punk the same way. Because like if CM Punk tried to stop it, and then like the, you know, B&B security, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. B&B security picks up the win. I call them B&B security. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta use that now. B&B security. That is funny. Nah, I'm tweeting that. Nah, I gotta tweet that. Well, no wonder I ain't getting too many views. No DQs got like 359 of them. Shout out to NoDQ.com. I don't be involved. I don't get involved in any haberdashery. Yo, let's get back to what we was talking about. We're moving on. Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria, which I'm interested to see how this turns out. I'm assuming Becky's not taking the pin in this match either. It's got to be Lyra if they make it a triple threat at Evolution 2, which I'm assuming get the title on Bayley. You know, Bayley will have a nice run with it. The sad part is with Bayley, like, this is hard to say because it's like Bayley's the homie. She doesn't know me or nothing like that, but it's really messed up to say. But Bayley is really good as a title chaser, but as a champion, I don't know. It always feels like that the fans set up Bayley to lose right away as soon as she gets the championship. And I hate when people do this. So let's say that someone wins he wins over the fans and gets a championship, wins a championship at whatever PLE it is, or let's say it's on a televised show. The first thing all the fans say is, okay, who should dethrone him? This person. They just got the title and you all already want to see them lose it. What kind of fickle BS is this? It's a revolving door every time. And it doesn't make any sense when we think about it, because the way I'm looking at it from my perspective is this. You're asking me who should dethrone the new champion who just got the belt. That makes no sense whatsoever. Stop doing that. We don't need that kind of BS. A lot of times we tend to put ourselves in this bubble where we want a new champion at every PLE. That's not how wrestling is supposed to be. If everybody hot potatoes the title, there's never going to be long reigns for a championship. Not everybody needs a title win at every PLE. Some just don't need that. And that's what fans need to understand. Everything is not based around, oh, this, and this. Oh, yeah, no, I want to see this person win. Like, yo, my man, what do you mean? They just got the championship. They just obtained this prized possession, and now you want to see them lose it. What kind of shit is that? Like I'm not understanding the method to how these things work. Okay. Getting back to what I was talking about with Lyra and Bailey. You now know that there's going to be a triple threat because of it being a draw, which is great because all three of these women get to cook at Evolution and nobody gets left off. Bailey doesn't get left off. Lyra doesn't get left off. Becky gets to showcase herself. My thing is, one of these ladies has to make the Intercontinental Championship mean something after this match. And I think Bailey is going to be the one, but I want to see a darker side of Bailey come out as champion. I just feel like that's when she's at her best. So then right after that, and by the way, shout out to the new tag team championships, JD McDonough and Finn Balor. I mean, and they got Pyro too, so does that mean Judgment Day is back on track? Ever since now they've inducted Roxanne Perez into Judgment Day, and she has a title around her waist that she didn't have to pin anybody to get. It was kind of passed off to her, which we already said that the Roxanne connection was going to happen. So Roxanne as a tag team is gonna work. Is definitely gonna work. So they cut to after, I forget who it was they talked to. They talked to Sami Zayn, and then Karrion Kross decided he wasn't trying to send a message to Sami Zayn. He was trying to send Sami Zayn to the hospital, just like that, within 45 seconds. See what I did there? For those who know, you know what I'm talking about. The Taz promo, the promo for Taz that Karrion Kross did a while back. Just like that, Karrion Kross sent the message. It was like within 45 seconds too, or close to a little bit after. But that's the Karrion Kross I want. That was actually Killer Kross. That's the version of Killer Kross I want to see. I don't want to. I love when he talks, but I love to see him beat people up. And beating up Sami Zayn was definitely a testament to, all right, listen, if I can't get through to you with my words, I'm just going to whoop your ass. That's the Killer Kross I remember. The Killer Kross I remember was more, he would tell you what he's going to do to you, then do it. This version is like, listen, I tried, Yeah, you might have beat me Saturday, but today is Monday. And on Monday, I'm whooping your ass. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to just get started. That's what I want to see from Killer Cross. That's what I want to see from Killer Cross. That killer mentality that he literally keeps hidden in a Pandora's box, and Sammy has opened Pandora's box. Now I'm feeling like Sammy should have just obviously just laid down, but instead you decided to fight back. You decided to be resilient. You decided to be heroic, and now Karrion Kross is going to make you pay. Karrion Kross is going to hurt you, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, let's tweet to him real quick. Let's tweet to him real quick. Cool. So this is what I love. I mean, I love this business, man. I love wrestling. I love wrestling. I love wrestling. This is what I live for. This is what I love. This is what I live for. This is what we love. We love seeing stuff like this. We love seeing Killer Cross do his thing. We love seeing that. But part of that reasoning though is if you've seen his, because I'm a fan now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan. I've been a fan since, I'll tell you right, I was worried that they weren't gonna let him. It was hard to be a fan because I felt like what he was trying to show us, it was like the company wouldn't allow us to see that. And I'm like, I can't get into like this version of Karrion Kross that was bubble wrapped. It wasn't the real him. And that's why I was like, I can't get into it. And I know it was frustrating for him because I know that he knew that's not who he really was. Man, I tell you, when they finally like took the leashes off, took the bubble wrap off of Karrion Kross and allowed him to transition into Killer Kross, listen, I'm telling you, this is the Killer Kross that I remember. This is what made me a fan. His mind games, his psychology, and the way that he does things. It all makes sense. But now that he's been injected into the arms of the WWE universe, I'm sorry, into the veins of the arms of the WWE universe, and now that he's now jettisoning his character and his ideologies and everything that he's doing, now you start to see Karrion Kross unravel, and there's so many layers to what he does. It's sickening. It's so sickening because he's so good at doing the simplest thing just like that, and it means so much in like that much time. Because of this, now when I look at Karrion Kross, I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, he's slowly creeping into that territory, that main event territory where it's like, even if Sammy wins the Royal next year, it has to do with the fact that Karrion Kross brought out a side of him that Sami Zayn didn't know he had. Well, he kept it tucked. Kross brings out the best in everybody, but he also brings out the worst, and the worst sometimes can be the best. The ideology is when you look at that individual, when you like sometimes you can see the difference between Killer and Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin will talk to you. Kevin will talk to you, and he'll tell you what's going to happen before it happens. Killer or slash Karrion activates. He's action. He's no longer waiting. And that was Killer Kross. That was not, he did not speak to Sammy. he spoke with his actions, which obviously speak louder than words. Yes, Sami Zayn might have won the battle. Cross is going to win the war. That's the way that it is. And that's the way that it has to be, because when you have someone as talented as Cross on the side, and I got to give this other individual credit. Yo, we got to give love to Scarlett. Scarlett is the ends to the means, and she is not necessarily a manipulator. But what Scarlett is they're both on the same page, and she knows exactly what it's going to take. And Scarlett worries me because you don't know what she's capable of doing. And I will say that we're going to start to see more of what Scarlett can do down the line, because eventually when Cross gets unleashed, we're going to see a version of Scarlett get unleashed too. I just feel it. I feel like there's something looming with Scarlett, because she is so incredibly supportive, but she is also such a really good wrestler. She's very underrated. She's extremely underrated, and I would like to see more of her wrestling down the line, but I'm not going to further harp on that. Um, I'm surprised that I even got a follow from Mr. Cross, but that's the part of reality that I love, is that when he deserves all of this. Him and Scarlett, they deserve all of this. We finally see the vision, and now we don't want to let go until we get what we want. And they're slow burning this care. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say Karrion Kross is going to shine in next year's Royal Rumble, but he's really going to stand out at next year's Elimination Chamber. So I'll make a bold prediction: is if Karrion Kross does not win Elimination Chamber next year, he's winning Money in the Bank. Because Money in the Bank is symbolic for what Karrion Kross is about. The whole TikTok, your time's up, everything Cross touches dies. That's what Scarlett said. And because of that, when Karrion Kross touches that Money in the Bank briefcase and he has it, whoever time it is that he cashes in on, they die. And I think that it's going to be Karrion Kross cashing in on Sami Zayn. If Sami Zayn sorry. We had a little bit of an intermittent signal interference, but we're good. I'm saying if Rollins cashes in on Cena on his last match, Sammy wins the Royal Rumble. Cross either wins Elimination Chamber. Well, no, I don't see that happening. He'll have a standout performance, but if he doesn't win Elimination Chamber, then he'll win Money. Because in order for that to happen, Sami Zayn would have to win first. So Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble next year. Cross has a standout performance in the Elimination Chamber, but he doesn't win. But that would lead to him. So who would he face? It has to make sense. Unless someone gets injured. Zayn wins the Rumble. Rollins cashes in on Cena before the Rumble. And Sami wins the Rumble. Cross is a standout performance, but Cross is eliminated by Sami in the Rumble to win the Rumble. But the crowd is going to side with Cross over Sami. No, probably not, because they'll be in Riyadh. Cross has a standout performance in the Elimination Chamber, which would win over the fans, which he's already won over, but fans would literally be like clamoring for him to win. He doesn't win because of whoever they have win it. This leads to Cross going on a crash out tour, which he just tears apart the entire roster. And then we have Money in the Bank. Let's say he gets a big win in April, like at WrestleMania over someone like Randy Orton or something like that, or um, just to put things into perspective, we move on to the next one, which would be Backlash. Give him somebody that he could really prove himself against. I'd suggest like Jey Uso, or um, a returning Drew McIntyre, or even Damian Priest. So then we have that. And then we get to Money in the Bank. Cross wins Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn gets cashed in, won by Karrion Kross, who is the Money in the Bank winner. And it's all due to the fact that the final words that Kross will say to Sami is, "I told you so." A la what he said at Night of Champions. So we continue that story. I think that would be dope. But again, there's different stories with that. Anyway, we had Penta and Sami Zayn, speaking of the devil. See, I did that against B&B Security. I call them B&B Security. This Braun connection, that just don't that don't hit the way that they think it does. So anyway, B&B Security gets the win. Main event, Jey Uso shows up due to interference. Well, basically them trying to take out Zayn with the tsunami. Punk and LA Knight, I could see that being a feud down the line after this thing when Rollins is over. But with LA Knight and Rollins being announced for Saturday night's main event, you have to wonder like what's really going to happen when, because I don't see LA Knight winning that match. I would love for him to win, but I know that the way that this story goes, LA Knight's not going to get his just due or his pound of flesh. With that being said, though, with Evolution 2 coming up, I think that this is great, but we should have been on like Evolution like 7 by now. The women deserve more than 2 evolutions. They should have got at least 5, because the women's division hasn't become so monumentally massive. We now, with NXT probably having the best women's division, you have so many different layers to the NXT women's division. And with the Raw and SmackDown division, hell, I'd even like to see, I mean, if they could, I think I know they said Raw and SmackDown and NXT, but I would like to see TNA. I think that would be cool. I think a little bit of cross promotion to Evolution would be dope. I'd like to see TNA's women's champion Masha Slamovich go up against whoever. Let's see, Tiffany Stratton. That wouldn't be. I don't know about that one. Well, since Eve Sky is the champion right now, she's already faced Rhea Ripley, and Tiffany Stratton's probably going to end up having a match at Evolution 2. So I think it's probably going to be against Jade Cargill, which that's when Naomi would cash in, unless we get it at SummerSlam. But I think that I would like to see a triple threat at SummerSlam between Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. I don't think we'll get that, but that's the agenda that I would love to push. With that being said, Raw was pretty good. Who we got? Hold on, we got a comment. I don't know who this is. Talofa. How you doing, Erica? Just swinging by. This ain't gonna be too long. So with that being said, Raw was pretty good. I give it a B plus. I think it was what it needed to be. It was short. Started at, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like the fact that Raw started so early. I'd actually push for Raw to start at that time. You know, I wouldn't mind if Raw started at that time, because it means when people, get done watching Raw, we still got the rest of our night to either talk about Raw or, wrap up, do what we need to do, cook dinner. When I was cooking dinner, I forgot Raw was on, so I would think I only missed like the first 20 minutes. So That's cool. I ain't worried about it. Like this was a dope Raw. I think that SmackDown is gonna be pretty good. I look forward to seeing what happens when SmackDown happens. Hold on. Yeah. Where were they? Were they in Pittsburgh? Someone answer that question for me. Were they in Pittsburgh? They had to have been. They had to have been in Pittsburgh. Yes. Yeah. No disrespect, but I do not like that city at all. I think they have the worst food out of anything I've ever tasted. Their food actually stinks. Um, their city looks decrepit. It looks like someone. It looks post-apocalyptic. In my opinion, it just looks like someone built that using like Sims engine. It's not. I don't like the city of Pittsburgh. Everything about it just sucks to be. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm a Ravens fan. So I do not like the city of Pittsburgh. Also, I think Ohio and the Browns, Pittsburgh either. Yeah, their food stinks. People there. Um, Let me tell you why I think the people there suck. I went to Extreme Rules 2018, and it was the first pay per view I took my wife to. My wife has never been to a WWE event. She always wanted to go. I was like, okay, cool. I'll buy you tickets, take you to your first pay per view event. She was psyched. We went, had fun. This is when Braun Strowman threw Kevin Owens off the cage into the table, a la Taker and Mankind. Main event was Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. Everybody remembers that match because of the crowd counting down and trying to get themselves over. And I'm like, are y'all really doing this? Like, y'all really think y'all are something, don't y'all? They were they were trolling so bad that they took the clock off. And I'm like, why the hell are you doing that? The fans were so stupid. And I'm like, this city sucks. I'm like, I thank God. I thank God I was never born in Pittsburgh. I know people like to give like Cleveland a bad rep, like to give Detroit a bad rep, but Pittsburgh is the absolute worst. I have never seen a pretty woman from Pittsburgh ever. They don't exist ever. I think the only exception is probably Britt Baker, and she probably really ain't from Pittsburgh. She probably from I don't know, like Shenango Valley or something, or or like Farrell or something like that. Um, I've seen some of the like guys out there all have like weird shaped heads and long necks and like punctured stomachs, and I don't know, and I just don't get it. I just Pittsburgh is not my favorite city to visit. Like, anytime that I have to go to Pittsburgh, I get depressed because I can deal with Detroit, I can deal with Indianapolis, I can deal with Cleveland because I'm 25 minutes from Cleveland. I cannot deal with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh sucks. They like when I realize that I have to eat, I'm hungry, and I'm in Pittsburgh. I'll drive to the city closest to Pittsburgh. I will not. Their food is terrible. It tastes like it came from the steel mill. Anyway, so Evolution 2 is next week. There's a NX there's another event next week too. I don't know if it's not Worlds Collide, it's something else. I forget what it is. Um I think All In is next week as well. If I'm not mistaken, if it's on July, so I think All In is next week. All in Texas. Either way, all I'm gonna say is y'all enjoy the wrestling. AEW Dynamite's Wednesday, but we're live Wednesday. We'll have some people stop by the show. I'm not like necessarily like jockeying for position. All in is on July 12th. Yep, that's what I thought. And I'm not necessarily jockeying for position. All I have to say is, oh, Great American Bash. That's gonna be interesting. I don't know. I think All In's gonna win that one because it's a bigger event. But I am the Great American Cash. I will say that. And I was gonna name my album The Great American Cash. I thought it was gonna be dope. Anyway, I'm gonna get on some Hell Divers too. You guys be safe. This is the Raw Recap. Saturday night main event is on Jesus. That's right. 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 Okay. All right. Well, yeah, because Evolution is the 13th. It's the following day. Well, we'll talk more about that on Wednesday when we have Wrestle Faith join us on Wednesday. So make sure if this is your first time watching, make sure you follow me on Twitter. And we like to have fans come up and, give their opinions on things. So if you want to pull up to the show, by all means, pull up to the show. We like having fans come up that are respectful because we've had to kick some fans off for just being extremely disrespectful. But those fans are sheltered and they've never interacted with human beings ever in their life. So a good number of them have like terrible communication skills. Either way, Wrestle Faith will be there from Acknowledge the Dynasty. We love to have her. Guys want to tune in 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. Make sure you show up. I'll see you guys later.